Sorry about that. Something happened to my footage. But that's it for Lucy. I think she's a first boot, potentially not going to last very long. Paul. Uh, Paul seems like he could be a fan favorite. America seems to love like their older, bigger, wackier guys, especially if they're from the South. I grew up in the South. I know guys like that, so the charm's kind of lost on me. But I imagine him being very popular. And he seems chill. He seems laid back. Probably going to be very good in strength-based challenges. He doesn't seem to have much of a strategic game working. He doesn't seem to have much of a social game working. He's the oldest on his tribe, and of a tribe that's older. And I imagine that's usually not a good thing. Usually, to be the absolute youngest or the absolute oldest in the tribe creates problems because there's not many people you can relate with. No one is going to try to help you, but no one's going to want you to be the boss of them. And I think that Paul's going to have the same problem. He doesn't seem to have much of a strategic plan going on. He doesn't seem to be interested in creating much of a strategy. And plus, the idea is like he's not going to relate with some of these people. A lot of these people, I think, are like very white collar, very like business, very go get them, very we know what we want, we know how to do it. Paul's not going to last. He seems nice though, but they cast people like this every season on Survivor, and they tend to not do well. And I can see Paul being in like a Get Papa Beard or something. There's Rachel. Rachel, I think, potentially could do well. She's got a very dynamic bio. She does a little bit of everything. But compared to a lot of people on her tribe, she seems very willing to relate to the people in the Millennials tribe. She seems very aware of how Millennials work, and she's not condescending them. She's willing to make fun of herself. She acknowledges the fact that she's like a former playboy and something, and she's willing to use that, and that she's got this weird bio. She seems physically strong. She seems like she seems likable. So I can imagine Rachel being someone that the younger people tend to gravitate towards too, sort of like a cool mom, even though she's like not even 40. She seems she's going to be like a cool mom figure, and they're going to gravitate towards her. So I could see people thinking she's an excellent mother figure. So Rachel, I think she could do well as long as she's an asset to her tribe. And finally, we have Sunday. I've read some stuff about some of the things that Sunday's church does. I'm not going to give opinions about that because that doesn't... There are reasons that I'm not rooting for Sunday, but let's throw that aside for right now. Sunday is... She can't do this. She can't. I know there's a ton of religious people on this season, and I think she's going to find people she's going to bond with, but I think she says that she's not willing to do the lying thing. She's not willing to do the backstabbing thing. And I'm not one of those people that thinks that the winner always, or even that always has to be a backstabber, or always has to be a chess master. I actually think majority of the time you don't necessarily want to fill that role unless you have to. But Sunday, I think, is not going to do things that are smart and in her best interest simply because of her religion. And in that case, don't come out and play Survivor. She's not going to relate to people because a lot of the people on both tribes are counterculture. You have people who straight up say they're not a fan of religion, like Jay, and she's just not going to fit in, okay? She's too evangelical, she's too conservative, and this wouldn't be a problem in other seasons, but I feel like there's just the blend of personalities here, even with a lot of the religious people who might be able to see her way, it's just not going to work. So Sunday, she's going to be an early boot to me. She could surprise me. Some people are comparing her to like Kathy Vavrick O'Brien, which I think is like, no. Sunday, I think she means well, but I don't see her lasting very long. All right, so that is my thoughts on the Gen X tribe. Sorry it's a little late. It's not as well organized this time. I didn't have much preparation. But I'm going to sit down and then I'm going to release my actual tier list in a separate video. So you guys can watch that after I get done, because actually it's a highly mathematic process. Pardon me. So, got my alcohol. I am going to do my tier list, do some studying, and then see you guys in the next video. Please enjoy.